Chicory and her friend Owen make this fantastic treehouse made out of a boat. It's a wonderful touch. How did you come up with this?
The tree house was in the original concept of the story. When I sent the proposal to Jill, there was a tree house that these kids could go to get away. Initially, it wasn't a tree boat, but shortly after I started to look closer at the setting where Indy lived and what she knew and understood, it became a tree boat instead of a tree house. And part of what made the story work for me and what made the treehouse work for me was that the kids go there, it's their sanctuary, they go to be themselves and to get away from everything else that they're struggling with. And also to look for Monty, but to have a space that's just their own. And having a boat for that is perfect because they're sitting on the coast, they're looking out toward the ocean, so the waves are coming in, and they get this sense of sailing. And, you know, it fits perfectly with them needing to be able to, at times, sail away from the world and sail away from Plumtown.
For me, the best part about Tracing Stars, hands down, is this wonderful, sweet, close relationship between Indy Lee Chicory and Owen. To me, it's the best middle grade boy-girl relationship since Catherine Patterson's Bridge to Terabithia. It's really fantastic. Did you have similar relationships growing up?
Thank you, first of all, for saying that it was a great boy-girl relationship. That means a lot to me. I'm glad it worked. One of the things that I was playing with initially with Owen and Indy were their various characteristics. So one thing that's very important to me while I'm writing is to have real characters with real quirks, three-dimensional, not tropes or stereotypes. So they need to pop off the page a little bit. And it takes me a while to get there usually, but I take time to examine both of them and what makes Owen tick and what makes Indy tick. And one of the things that I love in real life as well as in stories are just odd couples coming together and how they work and the dynamic that they have. And that's one thing I was playing with Indy and Owen, is their dynamic. Owen is very literal. He is, you know, very left-brained. He'll give you the definition for anything. And Indy is more of a dreamer. She wants to please people, but she also thinks you can wish on shooting stars and they'll actually come true. So you have these two, the dreamer and the realist, and they come together and they're best friends, but not because they can appreciate the differences between them. And I think that's one of the most important parts of the story. The idea is that you can appreciate the differences in someone else and really accept those differences. So it was vitally important immediately for Indy and Owen to be able to see the differences in each other and really appreciate them. You also asked if I had a friendship like this when I was a kid. I didn't have a best boy friend who was like that until I was older and I met my husband. He's very literal, so I used a lot of his idiosyncrasies to create Owen Stone. But I always have been drawn to people who are very different than me, and I've always appreciated people who are very different than me. So I think that's just one of the things that I kind of have a hang up on and I really appreciate and I like, so I try to explore it in my writing.
What do you want readers of Tracing Stars to take away from this book?
What I hope readers will take away from Tracing Stars is first and foremost to have fun. The story has a lot of adventure in it. It's a little bit quieter than my first book, Flutter, but it does have a couple of high-speed chases and some fun, as well as emotional growth. But I think they'll enjoy the story first and foremost. And then beyond that, I hope it does have a solid emphasis on individuality and the love of that and the acceptance of that. It's something I've always valued, and you know, growing up in the theater, I think you see a lot of characters, so you value that. And so it's just something I wanted to infuse in the story. I know that kids struggle with you know, what to do when the crowd wants you to do this, but you want to do that. You always do what you want to do. You know, follow your own compass and you'll turn out great. So that's where we went. It was the arc of the story was from I'm not sure how I feel to I'm very happy with who I am and I can go forward this way. So hopefully if readers are looking for that, they can find that there. If they're just looking for some fun and some adventure, I hope they find that there too.
What can readers expect from you in the future? Are you working on something now? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
I am working on 2 other stories. One is a middle grade story in the voice and the style of my previous books. And it deals with a girl named Gertie Peavy who lives at Sunnyside Trailer Park with her grandmother and her little sister. And essentially she's going to be working on bucking the stigma that her family has created over the generations and trying to get out and free herself from it. So we're working on that. And then I'm working on a YA. I'm having a lot of fun. It's actually on the back burner right now because it's going to be coming out after the middle grade. It's called The Daughters of Ariadne at the moment. That will probably change. And it's about a girl, Eliza Heather Byrne, who's invited to go to a Future Leaders Conference on Crete, Greece. And she arrives at this beautiful mansion. And they start their team building exercises and all that stuff that you get at Future Leader conferences. And at night she goes to sleep, and then all of a sudden the manor is taken over by assassins. So as she's going through trying to stay one step ahead of the assassins, she comes to realize that the conference isn't exactly what it says it is. It deals a lot with Minoan history, which is based in Crete. It's prehistory. It's fascinating. So I'm having a lot of fun reading the archaeology books and trying to understand more about that civilization. And also just, it's going to be a high chase adventure. So it's set in present times. It deals with Minoan backstory, and it is so far a lot of fun to work on. I hope it's fun to read too.
Hey Erine, thanks a lot for joining us. Wonderful job on Flutter and Tracing Stars. Thank you very much for being the very first guest author here on my video show.
So thank you, Trent. It was good to be on your show, and I will talk to you soon.
Hey everybody, that was Erine Moulton. I'm Trent Reedy. Thanks for watching and have a swell day.